good day, everybody. I'm so glad you're back here. This is a Book of Boba Fett talk about with Star Wars Legion. This is kind of my review of the weekly Book of Boba Fett show. It's got 7 episodes. So this is episode 2, and this is kind of my take on what I've seen on the Book of Boba Fett and my thoughts from that into what it may appear to be for Star Wars Legion, because I'm looking at this from what does it mean to Star Wars Legion. Well, the Book of Boba Fett this week was very interesting. Sometimes we look at this and we don't know exactly what we're going to get, but this one was very an interesting week. First of all, they pulled in the assassin or the attempted assassins, and they questioned him. They tricked him into giving him thinking that there was a Rancor there, and he gave up the answers that the mayor gave him. And then the mayor kind of covers it up with killing him and saying, well, he's not allowed to work in hut space, and go check out the other place. And then the huts arrive, which is kind of the climax, because it's showing us that there is another element bidding for the control here, and maybe even have more of a right to it than Boba. And who does Boba think he is, trying to take control of a hut area? And the twins come, and now the twins are kind of unique because they weren't around earlier in canon, so I don't know where they came from. Jabba's brothers and stuff didn't have twins. They only had one child. So this is kind of something new, and they can write them in, and they could, who knows how long or how old a hut is at that point. They didn't seem full grown yet. They were smaller than Jabba was at the time. But the point is, it's kind of interesting. They created these characters just for this show, which is kind of nice, to create a big bad guy. And, like, we're going to have to get permission to kill them. It's kind of, they're in control. They have the backing of the New Republic and all of this going on. But the most interesting thing there was the bounty hunter that they brought out. This is kind of a cool thing, because they now are introducing Black Cassian, who is Cassian. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. He's a Wookiee bounty hunter who was heavily in comic books, and so this is kind of a first comic book crossover to live action in the Star Wars world. And so as we do this, I want to talk about what this means for Legion before we get into the other great parts of this show. One thing I mentioned last week was the characters that would be cool to see, and I thought the Gangmorian Guards would be great to see in Legion, but I did leave out some of the obvious. Obviously Boba Fett, and he is definitely coming as a leader. We already have a sculpt and everything, and it's hell on the way. And I think Fennec could be a good operative, so I think that's something we might see in the near future. Actually, I think that might be our first 2 characters into the TV show characters, and so I think that's kind of exciting, and some things that we're going to see. Now, they're the obvious, but as we get talking about it, I think that as one of those scum and villainy factions that are coming in, they're developing them, and the way they're planning on doing all of those things, I could see that Black Cassian be a huge part of that. He used to work in the comic books for Jabba, and he also had a very big history in the comic books. We seen him there fighting Obi-Wan at one point, and he works with Doc Afra a lot, the whole comic book series of them together, and so he helped her escape from Darth Vader. He founding his moments. He was a gladiator in the Gladiator. They were kind of mentioned that in the Book of Boba Fett. That's where he kind of got his beginnings. And so there's a lot of deep character development, but it'd be also really cool for non-rebel, Galactic Republic to have a Wookiee character, kind of a bad Wookiee. I think that it would sell well. I think that not only that, it would be just kind of a new, standoffish character who can go and fight and shoot and a little of everything. He would make a really good operative, and so that's one of the things I think is really going to come out of this. Is I can see that happening. But the big thing about the show was they introduced him kind of saying, "Hey, there's going to be a fight here." Now Boba and him were partners for a bit. They both worked for Vader together, and they also both worked for Jabba together. So do have some history. That's how he knew he was a gladiator in that through the comics. Now, I don't know how much they're bringing back into canon, but this is kind of a unique thing. Now, as the episode goes on, majority of the episode actually was about our fun-loving sand people, and so the reality of things is I could really see these guys coming to Legion. And if you can see, we already got fan-made versions, and I play with that. I actually have the fan stuff, and I've reprinted out some of them. But I think what they're doing in this series is really putting a human edge to them. Kind of before, always in the early canon, they didn't really make them to have anything other than just beast and stuff, and they explain that in the episode that there are tribes like that. But the reality is they're trying to make you kind of care for these Tusken Raiders and see their problems and the things that they deal with and their way of life, and I think that they're going to be a pretty good mainstay, maybe a elite force or like a special forces or a core for Boba's faction that he has within that, those sub factions that they're having. And I think they might be quite involved. I think in the show they're going to be really involved. I think that's going to be the stay of his power, because how is he going to hold all of this this Tatooine? How is he going to really hold it? Because nobody's on his side, but I think he's got them as allies. And the show really kind of put a Dune-ish feeling on it, but also Lawrence Arabia type feel. The train scene, it was kind of, I really enjoyed this episode. Some people might not like the episode, but I'm really enjoying the Book of Boba Fett, and I can't wait to see more, and I can't wait to see some of these units find their way into Legion, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. I would love to play officially the Tusken Raiders. I have, as I said, I printed them off, and maybe I'll do a battle report with the Tusken Raiders and how we play them. But the reality is, I would love to be able to play them officially and kind of have more fun with that. So thank you for watching. This has been a short video, but it's all about how we see the Book of Boba Fett translating into the game of Legion and some of the things I think they could do. And I'm really excited for what Atomic Mass Games could do here. Not that I would want them to water down or cheese things up, but I think there's so much to grab and work with it. Legion could find quite a few factions or quite a few different play styles of armies. And I'm excited for that. I am not excited for it in my wallet. The game has already cost me a lot of money, being somebody who collects all 4 factions. But the reality is it can only make the game better. And so I'm looking forward to how Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, and the other shows coming out can make the game even better. And so I'm excited. I'm trusting in the makers to be able to do a good job. I know we have all, as content creators and as people who play the game, we all have our ideas of how we'd like to see it, and that's why I do some homebrew stuff and I play it and kind of these are things I'd like. But reality is, it's nice to have official stuff. And so the Book of Boba Fett, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to see what they bring out next week. And so see you then.